Now, this is played as a joke, but it is so true of people. And I find it amazing. You are, you reach your breaking point with someone, and then you want that person out of your life. But as soon as that person goes and finds happiness with someone else, or someone else comes into their lives, you then become angry because that person has gone on and become happy. And you would rather that person come back and be miserable with you and you be miserable than to let that person go. This doesn't happen to everyone in the same way, but it is something that I've seen of low vibrational people, or people with low consciousness. You see, for me, anybody that I've ever dealt with romantically, I legitimately hope, I legitimately think and feel that I want them to have whatever person fits their personality, whatever person can make their lives great and they can live in happiness and bliss. Sure, it didn't work out between myself and that person, but I would be damaging myself and my consciousness and my energy if I were to hold on to anger, frustration, and jealousies and control, if my mindset is, I want that person to suffer. I gave all that I am to that person. I did this for that person. I did that for that person. How dare they go and find someone who is a better match for them and then go and be happy? If anything, you should be on the prowl or open to another person who could bring you the happiness and joy and peace and companionship that I could not bring to you, that the other person could not bring to you. I mean, that's how I see it. That's how I see it. I don't look at anybody in my past and say, oh, I hope they're suffering. Oh, I hope they never find anybody that can make them happy. Because if I'm thinking that about them, then the only thing I'm going to return to myself is a person that's going to come in my life, and I'm going to allow them in, who are not going to bring me the happiness, the joy, the peace, the companionship that I desire. So you're hurting yourself more than you're actually hurting that person. And I'll be damned if I'm going to try to force someone to stay with me, and I know that the situation is not palatable. I'm not going to live my life being angry with someone, with them getting on my nerves, with them not providing whatever it is or doing whatever they were doing that created or caused us to not be together, or whatever it is about that person that causes me to be the type of person that I don't want to be, and to be the type of person that brings them anguish. What am I doing? What am I accomplishing when I do that? I am only hurting myself and all those around me. And I see so many couples out there who don't match up at all. And yet, they still remain together out of the comfort of the misery to which they have become accustomed to, instead of releasing that person and starting over to see if they can find someone that they find comfort with. Yes, you're going to go through other people that you don't find comfort with. You're going to see somebody, meet somebody, they're going to look good to you. They're going to start out being all those things that you think is bringing you, that's going to bring that extra happiness in your life. But then you go and for some time and the real person comes out, and you come to realize that, nah, that was fugazi. That was a facade. That was acting. That's not who they really are. And then you have to let them go. And then you have to start over. But hopefully in all of that, you start learning how to evaluate whether or not a person is a good match for you. That's why very soon I will be finishing my book called How to Find Your Divine Soulmate, so that you can become the complete version of yourself and understand who you are. And then once you understand who you are, you will have a better indicator, a better knowledge, better foresight into how to evaluate a person to see if that person is a good person for you to be with. And that evaluation is not something done on the first date. It's not something done on the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a couple of months. It may take a year. It may take 2 years, 3 years before you come to the fullness of saying, this person fits my 80-20 rule. Meaning that 20% of what they do brings me 80% of my happiness in a romantic relationship. Nobody is going to fulfill you 100%. That's a misnomer. But if a person is bringing you 20% of what, if 20% of what they do is bringing you 80% of your happiness in a companionship, that's a good person for you to be with. As long as they're not exhibiting any of your deal breakers, that's a good person for you to be with. Because they can have that 20% bringing in your 80, but they can have that one thing, two thing, three thing that also brings you 80% of your dissatisfaction, of your unhappiness, and therefore they're still not a good match. Stop holding on to the past, and certainly stop holding on to people who you're not compatible with, and come to the realization you're just not compatible, and then move on with your life. Stop stalking them. Get off of their social media. Stop seeing what they're doing in their lives. Stop seeing what happiness they have, and focus on your own happiness. Focus on your own life path. Grow. And if anything, if they're still on your social media and you see them enjoying life, celebrate that. Be happy for them about that. Because as karma works, you're going to want that good energy coming back to you, because that's how energy works. It goes out and it comes back. Whatever you put out is going to come back to you. You put out that negative is going to come back to you. So put out that positive so that you can get that positive. If I see someone that I've dealt with and they're happy and they're enjoying life and they're thriving, I celebrate it. I literally will celebrate it, because I want them to have that. Because I know that that energy that I put out for them will certainly come back, and I will get to live it in my life with whomever I have chosen to spend my time with. That's just how it works. That's just how energy works. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. It's the law of rhythm on the polarity of relationships, and you can't avoid it, no matter how hard you try. So always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.